Hello, families of Sparwood Secondary Science students. This video is intended to walk you through the information available to you on the parent portal to help you better understand your student's grade in Science 10. Hopefully, you've reached this landing page to the portal already and found your report card here under Published Reports. For more detailed information, you can navigate to the Academics tab. We've got Pages, Family, Academics, Groups, and Calendars in the top green ribbon, and we're going to click through to Academics. Now, when you get there, you're going to see a series of courses, including the Science 10 course that we're going to click on right now. And then you'll land on our Science 10 homepage. Now, a bunch of information is available to you right on the homepage here. Your attendance summary tells you how often your student was absent or late this far into the year. Your average summary looks at each of the categories that we use to determine your overall grade in science and kind of breaks down current assessments in those categories. At the bottom, we have the standard summary. We'll come back to that. I want to talk about each of these categories because reading this average summary can really give you some insight into what's going on in class. At the top, you've got your final unit grades. Currently, we've done 2 complete units of science, physics and chemistry. We'll have 2 more by the end of the year, biology and astronomy. It's really important to remember that Science 10 is a sort of aptitude test, where students are trying to figure out which science courses they're best suited for in senior high school. Should they take chemistry and physics? Should they take biology and chemistry? Should they take earth science? The point of Science 10 is to help figure out where their aptitudes lie. So, over the course of the year, there will be 4 units, 1 corresponding to each of the senior high school science courses, and we will take the 3 best units that your student has in order to determine this grade. Thing is, no student takes all 4 senior high school science courses. They take those that most interest them and that they're most well suited for, and we want the Science 10 grade to reflect that choice of courses. So if your student is struggling with chemistry, and chemistry is not going to be part of their studies in senior high school, we'll drop their chem grade and we will include their physics, biology, and astronomy grades in this final summary. Something to keep in mind, especially as we get later on in the year. Below the unit grades, we've got our grades on our research tasks. Now we have a major research task in May for Science 10, but we haven't gotten there yet, so this is still going to be blank. Then we've got our lab grades. We consider our labs to be numeracy tasks, very similar to the numeracy tasks that you would have done in Math 10 last semester. Those are worth 5% of the grade overall, and you'll see the current score on labs right here. Finally, we've got the competencies. The competencies are not physics skills or chemistry skills. They're general science skills that anybody working in the field is expected to have. There's a list of 30 competencies in our provincial curriculum for science, and students get a mark, a point towards their final grade for each competency they show proficiency in. Right now, this particular student has had opportunities to show off 10 of the 30 competencies. They've successfully showed off 7 of the 30 competencies, and so their grade in this area is 70%. That effort is summarized at the bottom of the page. These are the 10 competencies that are currently being considered for our sample student here. And they've shown proficiency in 7 of the competencies, which is why they've got a grade of 70% here. Talk more about these in a minute, but let's just quickly finish up with the overall average summary. Given that unit grades contribute 60% of the final mark, numeracy tasks like labs contribute 5% of the final mark, and competencies contribute 30% of the final mark, given that we have blanks right now in these 2 areas, we calculate this student's overall grade to be 72%. And that's what shows up on the report card. So hopefully this alone gives you a good snapshot into what's going on in your student science class. But if you want more information, that is definitely available. We can come over to the left-hand bar here and we can look at assignments. Now you're going to see a list of all the assignments that the student has completed in their various different categories. The most important assignments are the whole units, like our chemistry unit. If you click into a whole unit, you're going to get a description of the things that we've studied, a description of the way the grade was assigned. There might be a remark about your student in particular, and the overall score on that unit will be displayed, along with information about the highest, lowest, and average marks in the class. Hopefully that helps you really understand how chemistry in particular went for your student, which can be huge when trying to decide what they're going to do next year, and even as they head towards university. So there'll be one of these summaries for each of our 4 major units. There's also the summary of competency scores. So again, there's 30 competencies, and as this assignment explains, students have opportunities to display competencies as the course goes on. By February 23rd, the expectation was that students displayed 5 competencies. By March 15th, 10 competencies. By April 19th, which is the last update before this report card, 15 competencies. So when your report card comes out, your student will have a count here out of 15, depending on how many competencies they've displayed up until this point, and they will get a grade based on that. If they show 12 competencies, they get 80%, 12 out of 15. Many of the smaller assignments here speak directly to a few particular competencies. So for example, this precipitation reaction lab was graded in terms of 4 of the competencies, and this sample student scored proficient in all 4. And you can scroll down and you can see how the student has displayed various scientific skills across a bunch of different tasks. You can click into those for more information. So obviously, we're very much into the weeds here if you're looking at individual assignments, but it can be fun to explore what your student has done. The stuff at the top, especially the summary of competency scores and the units, that is where you really want to pay attention as you start to plan your career in science. Overall, hopefully you find the information in this portal useful. If you have any questions or concerns, you can let me know. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later.